I got 'em! All of 'em! You get what I need, and I'll give 'em to you. Simple. You got a ship, could find 'em all to boot.
Who is that man?
Him? Some old salt's always on about letters he's got from Captain Kidd. Nonsense, really, but he doesn't hurt no one, so I'll leave him be. Talk to him if you fancy, but be warned he'll chew your ear off. Anyway, the Aquila's here for you. If you should get a pang for the open sea, we'll be waiting. Now, I implore you to head up the hill before the old man comes out of retirement just for me.
3 weeks. And not even a goodbye before you left.
Sorry.
Well, okay. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, OJ. My bad.
Well, what are you waiting for? Put them on.
Oh, it's showtime. Yeah. Put that hoodie on, my nigga. Where the hood at?
Once upon a time, we had a ceremony on such occasions. But I don't think either of us are really the type for that. You've your tools and training, your targets and goals. And now you have your title. Welcome to the Brotherhood, Connor.
Yeah, the day the Templars cried. Hey. My boy looks sturdy.
Welcome back, Desmond. You'll be happy to hear there's actually good news for once.
Yeah?
I've managed to locate a power source, and it's relatively
Desmond's
close by.
dad, Billy,
Up
is
for a trip to Manhattan.
still a hoe.
Is it safe to leave? Abstergo's gotta be looking for us.
Obviously, it's not safe. Can't exactly sit around here hoping to get lucky, though, can we? We need that power source. Besides, I'm sure you can cook up some way to hide our movements.
Maybe. The Templars have access to all kinds of satellites and camera systems. We'll need to find a way to mask our digital signature. I can probably camouflage the van, too. But there's not much I can do for us.
That's an easy one.
Yeah, Desmond.
Local utility companies have assured the public that they're completely prepared.
Say sorry to your son, you hoe ass nigga.
The service are expected to be minimal.
If only they knew.
What's this?
A remote-operated camera. It'll provide us with a feed while you're on mission. This will let us talk to each other.
Is that a
We're
drone?
almost there, so listen up. The artifact is in an office penthouse in Lower Manhattan. At this time of night, direct infiltration is going to get you noticed. I think we're better off having you drop in from above.
What do you mean above?
His dad's a cold weirdo, right? You just want me to... Oh, really?
Can you hear me? Testing. Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Yep, reach you just fine. Now why don't you power up the camera?
I knew it was just gonna follow him.
Running diagnostics.
That's sturdy. Little drone gonna follow me.
Perfect. I've got a nice strong signal.
That's a strong signal. Wish I could see the little thing.
Seriously, Sean? Fuck you. Jesus.
Look on the bright side. No security to worry about.
And on the not so bright side, the slightest misstep means you're effectively paced.
Shut up, Sean. Almost there, Desmond. Once you reach the top of the lit-up crane, you should be high enough to make the jump.
Should?
It'll be fine, don't worry.
Well, you might want to worry a little.
Right, thank you.
Sean!
Probably.
Joke. The joke.
Right, I'm like, yeah. Well, I mean, no, was you high? She said should. Well, it's not exact. Okay, well, I'm not trying to die. All this technology, and I gotta do it with my bare hands. What's wrong with them?
Jump when you're ready, but wait for my signal to open the chute. Timing's really important here. Too soon or too late, and you'll miss the building.
Here goes nothing.
Now, open your chute.
That wasn't so bad.
So, you must be Desmond. Not exactly what I expected, but I guess your kind doesn't have many options these days.
Who are you?
Ask your father. Now give me that.
I don't think so.
Look, I'm not supposed to kill you, but the boss man didn't say anything about fucking you up. So you got to the counter.
3.
So who the hell is Daniel Cross?
Believe it or not, he used to be an assassin. The assassin, the way I've heard it told, but it turned out he was a sleeper agent for Abstergo, programmed to infiltrate and destroy the organization.
How did he know you were there? We could be compromised.
They must have caught me snooping inside their network and sent Cross to see what we were after. If they were aware of our current location, we'd know. Though, I will say this. It doesn't bode very well for future expeditions.
I've set up some cameras topside. If anyone shows up, we'll see it.
I'd suggest you go see about finding a socket for that power source. Or we can return to Connor if you prefer. All the artifacts in the world won't mean a thing without the key. Ah, Desmond, there you are. Can I ask a favor?
Maybe.
When this is all over, I'd like to try turning the dial back on the Animus. Like, all the way back. To the time of the first civilization.
You think it would work?
There was no real loss of fidelity when you visited Altair. Then again, that was about 1,000 years ago, and I'm looking at going back at least 70,000 more.
Sure, I'd be up for it. Be interesting to see what things were like back then.
Excellent. I think it would prove most enlightening.
So I guess I'm going back to the Animus. Why would he tell me about the power source? I don't know how I'm supposed to get out there.
When we thought we could be saved, we sought to face the sun's wrath and contain it. 4 towers would be built to pull her fury into this place and dispel it. But even with all we knew, with all we had, it would take too long. 1,000 years we could labor and still the work would not be done. The first tower was never completed. The project abandoned. We moved on. But while we labored on other endeavors, a few returned. They thought to automate the process. Metal might finish what flesh could not. If we could not meet the sun's cruel embrace, perhaps we might rebuke it. Already we could generate fields to protect us in times of strife. But these were small and simple things. To replicate them on a scale the size of a world. We lack the energy to make it so. Half the world, they said then. It is better than none at all. We tried. Again, we failed. A quarter, they asked. Even this we could not do. A sixth, an eighth, a tenth, they cried. The answer was still the same. Perhaps in time a city might be spared. But it was time we did not have. So we moved on.
Dang.
Wonder what's inside.
Only one way to find out.
So this is how it started.
What are you up to?
Just brushing up on my American history. Well, I say history. They certainly teach you strange things in the States.
Like what?
Well, for all the talk of this being a revolutionary war, it was a civil one. Well, not that kind of civil. I mean, there was no America versus Britain. It was Brit on Brit action. And you can clearly see how the whole thing got started. One war gave birth to the other.
You mean the 7 Years' War?
Exactly. Seems the Crown overspent in its attempt to keep the French out, wound up with a great deal of debt. Believing that the colonists should help to shoulder the burden, new taxes were created. It was a reasonable request, even if Parliament was rather, well, undiplomatic about it.
Well, it's not really fair to tax people for a war they didn't want any part of.
What? Didn't want any part of? Did you not notice George Washington with Edward Braddock? He was right there in the middle of it. So here you have the Crown spending who knows how much money to secure a place for the colonists to thrive, and then, when they ask for a little bit of help... Right, look, think of it this way. King George and the colonists, they all go out to dinner, right? And when the bill comes, George asks for them to kick in and pay their share. Fair enough. But keep in mind, he's been taking them out to dinner gratis for decades now. But the colonists, oh no, they insist they only had a glass of water and a side salad. Never mind the table's full of half-eaten food and empty bottles of wine. Now, when the king points this out, what do the colonists do? Oh, they flip the table over and they storm out the restaurant. Probably intending to return later and burn it down.
You left out the part where the king pointed a gun at the colonists and asked them to cover dinner for everyone in the restaurant.
Right, yeah, interesting take. If he pulled out a gun, and I'm not sure he did, it would only have been after the 100th failed attempt at getting them to pay their fair share.
But how do you define someone's fair share?
Oh, well, with a war, apparently.
What is a fact? immutable? Certain in its existence and only awaiting discovery? Or might it be changed? Here we learned the answer, and thought that it might free us. They were used to command, to control, to own. But we soon discovered another use. When enough sat in thrall and were told to believe, their thoughts took on form. What was imagined became real. If 100 minds could wish away a wall or create a tree, what might 1,000 do? 10,000? More? Might we change the consensus?
Y'all using people without their knowledge. What in the world? Even God has given people the option to follow or not.
Once placed,
Everybody don't want that.
would be uttered. Make us safe. In
Your
this way,
safety
we would
is
change the consensus.
in life and death.
We would save the world.
How much more safe and secure could you be? Your life has been marked out for you.
Came to be.
What makes y'all scary and shaky is the fact you, and wandering your mind is the fact you don't know how it all ends. At least you believe you
Direct
don't.
the beam, to enthrall the world, to speak the words.
You're not gods because you question everything.
Though
A god would know it all.
Dangerous,
You don't know
what we
anything.
tried next was worse.
Yeah, because you're human. You goofy humans.
Good luck, Desmond.